This is The Bump, the one podcast SA footy fans need to hear, where the biggest names tackle the biggest South Australian footy stories. Roo, Ditts, Byrne, Jars, Triple M's The Bump.
Roo, Ditts and Jars this week, gentlemen, on the back of a disappointing showdown.
Look at you.
Welcome
You're
to the Bump.
disappointing.
Hey?
Didn't you like it? Well, what happened with it?
Get out. What do you mean, did I like it?
You mate, what's going on with your footy club, Port Adelaide?
Well, do you want to talk? Let's talk positives. Talk about the Crows first, and then we'll get to
all
it.
right.
We'll get to
Jeez,
it.
all right. Jeez, you buddy. Just handled that one. Adelaide Crows, their pressure was outstanding.
Yep.
I thought their pressure was very, very good. We had Nicksy
Is it
on
the
the
most
show.
important stat?
Well, these
in
days
football?
it is. It is
Well,
because you want to create turnover.
When Craigie was our coach, he used to say, "Take away the time and space," which is basically the same thing.
That's what the good clubs do, Rupert. And then the ball movement moving forward has become a lot better for the Adelaide Crows. If I'm a forward in the Adelaide Crows now, I'm licking my lips because the delivery is a lot better. They're kicking to space, and the forwards are leading up. Forwards today, a lot of them don't lead up to the content.
Nicksy actually said on the rush hour that they've just simplified their focus a little bit. Instead of focusing on playing finals, they're focusing on what it takes to win
home
games.
and away games to give yourself an opportunity. And like I asked him, you're going through. He laughed at the question about the corridor, but they're a lot braver going through the corridor, especially across half back.
As a coach, sometimes you're the most experienced coach in the room by a long way. Can you lose track of your messaging sometimes and look a bit further ahead and forget what gets you there? The process instead of the result, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I coach social football, so I try and keep the messaging very, very basic because if you overcoach it, you lose them.
Yep.
And you don't want to overcoach the message.
Same in AFL though.
Yeah, true. But no, I think...
You don't want to give them more than, say, three things to remember.
Well, I focused on offence, contest and defence. They're the three pillars.
How'd you come up with that?
Oh, I was doing that when I was running around for Gazer. Anyway, we saw a young star perform, Soligo. Jake Soligo.
Best trainer on the track pre-Christmas.
Well, there you go.
Having a breakout season. He was
Good
obviously, they knew what he could do down there last year because they signed him to the end of 2029.
Okay.
And he's having a breakout year.
Yeah, and been outstanding. And why do we keep comparing players to other players in the past?
Well, because that's
it's
what
just
we
what
do.
happens.
Well, I don't like it.
All right.
I don't like it. He's Jake Soligo. That's who he is.
He's
not
Jake
a Rory
Soligo.
Sloane. Rory Sloane's a different player than Jake Soligo.
Who did you idolise when you were a kid?
I was Barry Robran.
Why
I tried to
why
bleach
did you
my hair
idolise
and
Barry
everything.
Robran? You're not Barry Robran.
No, I didn't even nowhere near looking like Barry Robran. I had this perm done too one day.
Did you?
A mate of mine was mate's mum was a hairdresser. And
No.
I thought, you know what? I want to look like Barry. You know when
no.
Barry had that wig?
Yeah.
I wanted to look like Barry.
Oh, my God.
I end up looking like Shirley Temple.
No, he's a good player and he's going to be a great player and he's
a
had
ripper.
one of the real breakout months.
Yeah.
You don't really see him do that.
What about the game of Keane? This bloke's getting better and better.
He's only had one pre-season. He has got heaps of upside too, I think. He's nowhere near his full fitness, but he's gaining confidence week after week. And what I like about him, he's an interceptor. He takes the game on and he's got a pretty powerful kick.
He's got a good
He's
kick.
tough as well.
He is
Yeah,
tough
that's it.
and he does not take any
Well,
crap
he had
from
to
anyone.
outmark Dixon, and he did it quite a few times. A big body,
Want a good
strong.
night for Big Chuck.
Isn't it, so here's the thing, Roo. Isn't it funny how we all see the game differently? Our producer walked away and said, Charlie Dixon had a good night.
No, he didn't.
I said, Keane was just about their best player. So it's funny how we all see things differently.
But anyway, that's a good result for the Crows, and the Brisbane Lions will be
How
a
did you
wonderful test.
see Daniel Curtin's debut?
Nice. He played his role. I just don't understand. Brodie Smith being the sub.
Well, he's got a back injury.
Well, don't play him. Give him another week off.
Well, he's fit to play. They just
He came on the last quarter, had 2 touches, didn't he? And Nicksy said he had an influence in the last quarter.
Yeah, but you can manage older players. You don't
I
have
understand
to,
that.
There's nothing wrong with that. Sloaney was a good sub last year.
Yeah. But no, that's okay. That's their decision. But I thought
Would you
Barry
rather
Curtin was
Will
okay.
Hamill as a sub or Brodie Smith who's ready to go?
Well, I'd give Brodie another week off to make sure he's ready and play Hamill.
Yeah, he had 3 quarters.
Oh, okay. You asked me a question, I'm giving you an answer. And I thought Barry Curtin was serviceable.
Barry Curtin.
Oh, that's what I called him.
Barry.
Now, can we talk about Port Adelaide?
Yes, we can.
Now, Ditts. These are the three players that I think Kenny needs to make a statement and either drop him or give him a rocket. Ryan Burton.
We dropped him last week.
Yeah, Darcy Byrne-Jones and Ollie Wines.
Yep.
They're your three culprits. They have been,
Ollie
They have been
Wines?
prick teasing Kenny for 10 years now, 8 to 10 years.
He won a Brownlow medal.
Nah,
He's a prick teaser.
No, I'm sorry. He doesn't play well in big games, Ollie Wines. Let's look at his. Besides the Brownlow year, other than that, mate, he hasn't delivered at all for Kenny.
He's their highest. But prior to the two
I'm sorry.
re-signings,
Where was
he's
he on the
high-
weekend in the Showdown when you needed him? Your most experienced senior player.
He
Where
went a
was
quarter, didn't touch the ball. Was that the second quarter, I
Ditts,
think?
Darcy Byrne-Jones and Ryan Burton. They're three that I reckon Kenny's got to drop this week.
Well, I reckon there's a bigger list than that.
Oh, there's more names.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's go the other way. I can name three blokes that, as a Port person, I was happy with the other night.
Who?
Butters tried all night.
He's a warrior.
Yeah, but wasn't getting a lot of help. And in the end, just had to bang it on his boot a lot because he wasn't getting
Francis.
much help. Horne-Francis Bergman.
Bergman.
Bergman has an absolute
Boakey.
crack.
Where's Boakey at?
I reckon he's.
Still serviceable?
I reckon he is.
Still important?
Obviously, he's close
Or
to
do you
the
think
end.
he's done?
No, I don't think he's done.
Ditts,
I
do you think he's done?
No, but needs to kick goals. Needs to kick important goals when they're presented, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I know, but that's not.
Or is that an unfair
He got a
statement?
Snicko on one of them was a bit stiff, but yeah, he did kick 3 points. So 5-18, he's part of the problem.
And the game plan. You can't keep bombing the ball inside forward 50. Bomb. That's all they do. That's all Port Adelaide does.
Let's have a listen to Tyson Goldsack, their assistant coach,
Okay,
talk about
okay.
whether they think their game plan stacks up in big games.
Just want to believe in the footy that we've been training for so long stacks up. And at the moment, we're at a little bit of a stalemate, I think, with that.
Stalemate means they're arguing about it or discussing it and whether they should stay with it or stay not.
Can't stay with it. Not in today's game. As soon as they get a ball outside forward 50 Port Adelaide, what do they do? What do they do every time?
Well, they
For the
usually
last 8 years under Kenneth.
kick it long to Dixon.
There you go. How predictable. You can read that like a book. And you got to look at the balance of the forward line. Where's Finlayson? Why's he been dropped?
Well, he's been out for 3. He didn't get dropped. He
but
got suspended for 3 weeks and they chose to play him in the SANFL. But he's been dropped before. I don't think they like him.
But
Hang on. He was up for selection a week ago and he got overlooked.
The
So he's
weekend
clearly-
just gone.
Where's Todd Marshall at? Signs a big contract. Hadn't fired a shot. This is what they've got to look at. Every player moving forward. Dan Houston. He's another teaser.
Oh, come on.
No,
Dan Houston is an absolute
when it's
gun.
time to put their head in the hole, where are they?
No,
Where is
Dan,
Port Adelaide? A
do
lot of
not
these blokes
say
don't
that
put their
about
head in
Dan
the hole,
Houston.
Rupert.
He
And I'm being
does.
very, very, very harsh, I know.
He's a star of the competition, Dan Houston. He is a gun footballer. He might not have had his best night the other night, but don't throw him
You've
in
got to
that
have your best
basket.
night the other night. That's the
Well, he
biggest
didn't.
game
You
on
don't play
the
well every
calendar.
week.
Yes, you do. That's what great players do. They play well every week.
So you want to write off everyone in Port Adelaide
Not at all.
after one
Not at
showdown
all.
loss?
Because you're starting to see Rosie, the club captain, worn out. He's been carrying that group for the last 18 months. Horne-Francis.
Are they too reliant on their
Butters.
midfield group?
The three of them have been carrying this group for the last 18 months.
I think it has fallen away a lot. Like, we can name Port's best 5 players, I think, and then it has fallen away after that. That's the problem. They're not contributing.
You said a month ago they've got too much depth. They're not going to be able to squeeze them in. What's happened?
I said that, did I?
Yes, you did. And I could get the audio. You said, I just can't find, there's not enough
Where
room
did
for
Ditts
them
say
all.
that? On the bump
On the Brecky show?
or the top rating Brecky show?
Don't make out you did.
Did-
No,
you say that?
No, I'll be honest with you, I can't remember it. But I think round 1, I thought they were looking
You
good.
did say that. I
And
remember that.
I thought, gee, who's going to miss out?
Yeah.
You do, in round 1. But we've found out a bit after 8 rounds.
Well, they have won 5. They've had a stinker against against Collingwood, and they've had a bad night against the Crows. If they'd kicked straighter last week, they could have still won.
Lost to Melbourne.
It wasn't a
You're
bad
7th on the
performance
ladder.
against Melbourne.
I know it's
and
been a
Melbourne
bit
have
harsh,
beaten
but-
Geelong. Melbourne are a very good side.
Yeah.
I think you've had a howler against Collingwood, and you've kicked inaccurately and under-delivered in the showdown.
You need. It's the same script,
It is the same
and you're
script.
going down to Geelong.
That's right.
So I'm just putting some heat on some boys that he's backed in. He's backed in to the inch of his life. They got to give something back to their senior
There'd
coach.
definitely be some pressure on down there at the moment, internally.
Well,
Will they lift and improve and get... Because the big games are the ones... Everyone knows they do very well and knock off the sides, middle of the road and below. They've been very good at that. And that's sometimes where sides do fall over in those games. It's the big games they got to get right.
Wouldn't you have expected the lift after the Collingwood game, the Collingwood effort? Surely there was some soul searching going on down there, and some hard meetings.
And didn't they?
And then they put up that poop.
And Rioli's another one.
Yeah,
his output's been
he's
average.
not doing enough. Yeah,
No, and I don't know what depth's coming through because you got some injuries. I understand that, and every club has. But he's just got to find some grunters. He's got to find some blokes who'll have a crack. You know, if they're not good with the footy in hand, but at least they'll give you a contest, don't they? And McEntee. Where's he at?
Well, interesting
Young
stat,
Jed
McEntee. He got his first kick in the last quarter the other night.
Frankie Evans had 4 touches in the SNFL, so
dear.
that's your replacement.
That's not good. 4?
4 for the whole game.
So there's names that we're starting to talk about that, Kenny needs to look at. But what's in that sample program? They haven't won a game, have they, in the Magpies, in the sample yet?
I don't think they have. Or have they won one?
Crows flogged them early.
No, they haven't won a game yet.
No.
So there's not much coming through. God knows what Geelong are going to do to them.
I think it'll be closer than you think in Geelong.
Oh, yeah, but Roo,
Although it is Tom Hawkins' games record game. Oh, no.
and he has had to kick the goal in 4 weeks. Say he kicks 10.
Zerk Thatcher will shut him down.
Margaret, Ditts, you got to get up. You poor boys, you're
So
sitting
what-
7th. You've won 5 games.
So all of a sudden the Crows are going to win the premiership and Port are going to be the
No,
wooden spooners.
we got the Lions.
So tell us about the Crows. What's going to happen this week against the Lions?
Well, no changes. You happy with everything?
For the Crows.
No injuries.
I
Everyone's
think
up
there
and
was
about.
any injuries on the weekend. Don't know if there will be any changes. Maybe it won't be, but we know that Brisbane are going to have a heap of changes because
Who's that?
Darcy Gardner had his ACL.
they've been smashed,
Lincoln McCarthy did his ACL. Brandon Starcevic did his calf in the warm-up. And Ainsworth got concussion. So I reckon there's got 4 changes.
So they've got dramas.
For the first time in 5 years, they've got some injuries because they've got Duday out with his knee, hasn't played. Coleman, their brilliant halfback flankers, out with an injury as well. So they've actually starting to take their toll. But it'll be a good test for Adelaide if they can knock off a grand finalist from last year on their home deck. And if they do, they'll be back to 4 and 5.
All right.
I reckon there's a lad at the Crows I've watched in the SNFL that I like, Joe.
Who is it?
Oscar Ryan. Keep an eye on this kid. If you go and watch the SNFL,
Who's he play for, please?
Adelaide Crows.
What sort of player is he?
Running halfback.
And
I
elite
reckon
kick?
you are going to like what you see.
Oh, if he hits a target, I'll love him.
Some say down at the Crows he could be better than Dan Curtin.
What?
Ooh.
That's
Just what
big
I've heard.
call.
I'm not saying he will
Jesus,
be, but that's
Barry's
what...
played 1 game and you're comparing
So
him
you
to
got
someone else.
to fit him into the side and Dangerfield. Crikey.
Yeah, let's go.
Dangerfield.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Before we wrap up, please tell me.
Have a listen to what Tex said on the Brekkie show. Tex doesn't know nothing either.
I got no idea, honestly.
You two are hopeless. Fair dinkum. He'd give us nothing.
Find it very unlikely, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's 34. He wanted to go home to be with mum and dad, and
Yeah.
Owns half of Moggs Creek.
yeah, exactly.
It'd be weird. Would it?
Good joke.
Like just in terms of just like a personal thing, would it be tense if you came back, or if you're all good now?
Nah,
Yeah.
fine.
Who's starting that rumour?
Someone on
Where'd
Channel
that
7. I cut my finger in the kitchen cooking tea when that come on the 7 News last night.
Ditts,
All right.
good luck this
Yeah,
weekend.
good luck to the
we
Crows.
need you up, Ditts.
Get Port back up
You've got a
over
good
there in
record
Geelong.
down at Geelong, haven't you?
17 years ago we won there. Yeah. Where's Dom Cassisi when you need him? And the win.
Easy on the left foot,
That was
left-footer
it.
from the boundary line
That
to
was
win
it.
the game.
That was it. You've been listening to The Bump. Have a good weekend,
Where's
footy.
Billy Brownless?
Roo, Ditts, Bernie, Jars. Triple M's The Bump.